Welcome back to another episode of Swoop's Standouts. Let's go over the top 5 players who impressed me the most, the key performers, and people who can do a little bit better. Let's get into it. Before we jump into it, merch still available. I've got bucket hats as well, which I love. They're getting delivered tomorrow. They look absolutely incredible. I've taken down the price on all of these items as well. Look, I'm doing this full time, so it's one of the best ways to support the channel. You know, either membership or buying some merch or going to Instagram and for $5 a month, and same with YouTube as well. You can just help support the channel and help me do this full time and get you the news and the best quality content that some of the best quality content that you're gonna find on footy content YouTube. So there's all that. So thank you so much for that. I'm still waiting for AFL 26 to get fixed because it's not working at the moment and I'm crashing out because of it. So I'll be doing some AFL 26 content soon. Let's get into these standouts. So like always, we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So coming in at number 5, I've got Bobby Hill. Kicked 3 goals and last week I said, Bobby Hill could do a little bit more. He had 14 disposals, kicked 3 goals, 1, a couple of tackles. I think he had about 3 tackles, 5 marks. That's exactly what we want to see from Bobby, right? No Brody Myercheck, so our small forwards had to step up. But Bobby Hill, obviously Jamie Elliott, we'll talk about him a little bit later. But those are the guys that you want to step up, and they really, really did step up. So that's what I want to see from Bobby. He probably won't kick 3 goals every single game. But if we can get a couple of goals out of Bobby and a dozen touches and a few more tackles than he has these last couple of weeks, that's going to go a long way. Now that the contract is off his shoulders, that contract weight is off his shoulders, we're going to see him have a great season. Coming in at number 4, Harry Perryman. Now, look, I've been a big believer that Harry Perryman needs to be in the midfield, and I want to see him run through the midfield a little bit more. But yesterday, I thought he did such an amazing job. I'll just quickly get his stats up. So he had 6 tackles, which was the second most on the ground, which is absolutely crazy. 5 intercept possessions, 2 score involvements. Went at 80% with his disposals. But what I loved about Perryman is he's so calm with the ball and he's doing sort of things that no one else is doing in the team or doing as well as he is in the team. I said when we signed him all that way back in free agency that even though he's 900k or whatever, he's going to be a steal of the draft and steal of the trade. And we're seeing that now. It's paying dividends. Yes, I would like to see him in the midfield where he wants to play, but he's doing such a great job at halfback. And I'll put my hand up and say I was wrong. Absolutely wrong. Doing such a great job there and up the ground a little bit when he can. So he's my number 4 best player on the ground yesterday. Number 3, Darcy Cameron. God, this guy, give him the All-Australian. He's going to finish top 3 in the Copeland. We talked about that last week as well. He just keeps getting better and better and better and better. He had an insane number of hitouts, 6 intercept possessions. What he does the best, and we always talk about this, is he can go behind the ball and just take grabs, just take intercept marking grabs, and that helps out Billy Frampton, it helps out Darcy Moore, helps out Jeremy Howe as well, when you got that big man going down the back. And look, working well in tandem with Mason Cox, even though Mason Cox didn't have that good of a game, kicked a nice goal. But when Darcy Moore's getting 1 clearance, so that's a little bit low. 3 tackles though, 19 disposals, nearly 20 disposals. He's just going to another level every single week that he plays, and there's an All-Australian jersey coming for him. Now, number 2 and number 1 could have gone either way, but I've gone number 2 with Jamie Elliott. Now, our boy Jamie, 6 goals, 6 goals too? Yeah, 6 goals too. Equal high career goals. That was against Adelaide a few years ago. Could have kicked 7. It was right there, tantalising. But I just read somewhere today, actually, that this is the first time any Collingwood player has kicked 6 goals under Craig McRae as head coach, which is insane. But I guess it makes sense because Checkers' most goals is 5, and then who else would have kicked? Yeah, that's crazy. That's a nice little tidbit, nice little stat. But Jamie Elliott, he could also be in line for a smoky All-Australian. He's second in the Coleman at the moment. what is that? 22 goals for the season. I remember, he was lining up for his second or something goal, and they're like, oh, Jamie Elliott's kicked 17 goals this season. Okay, that can't be right. Like, I don't remember him kicking that many goals. And I've looked at the stats, and it's like 17 goals, and then obviously he kicks the rest, and he comes up to 22. Jamie Elliott, he can go on for a couple more years, it looks like. I know he went through what he went through last year with his body, but he seems to be better for it this year, because we are seeing a Jamie Elliott in the 14 or something seasons that he's been in the AFL, or 12, whatever it is. We're seeing a Jamie Elliott that we haven't seen before, and he's on track to beat his highest ever goal tally, which is I think it's about 39. He did that in 2023. I don't want to say it, but he's in line to beat it. Now, number one, of course, Jack Crisp, the only Collingwood player on the ground to get over 20 disposals. 29 disposals, 2 goals, 7 clearances, 700 metres gained. And this guy, he was playing on the wing for most of the year. He goes as an inside mid with no Pendlebury, no Daicos. We were talking about life without Pendles. I know Jack Crisp was like 29, but he looks like a very, very handy inside mid in a day where Steele Sidebottom didn't have a lot of the ball. Steele Sidebottom had 7 disposals. Like, in a day when a couple of people were out, a couple of people were down on where they needed to be, Jack Crisp stepped up. And I've said it before, but Nick Daicos said it at the interview with Channel 7, I think with Daisy Pearce at the end of the game. He said, you can like stop one of us, but another guy pops up. And that's what Jack Crisp was doing. To be the only Collingwood player to get over 20 disposals is wild. But, Fremantle possessed the ball more than us. But he atoned for last week's mistake, even though he gave his heart out last week and he just missed that goal. It is what it is. But he's atoned for that. And we absolutely love him for it. So Jack Crisp is my number one player this week. A couple more players just to give shout-outs. Ned Long, 7 tackles. Bo McCreary, 5 tackles? Yeah. I said about Bo last week, I said he needs to step up. He wasn't doing enough. I don't know if you watched my stuff, but he really stepped up for that nice rundown tackle. I don't think he has anything to worry about with that sling tackle. I don't even think that guy went off concussed, so don't worry about him. I thought Lachie Sullivan played a really, really good game. Ed Allen, I thought he played okay. I'm pretty sure he was on the wing, but he was getting most of his balls off half-back. He'll be better for the run. I still don't think he's super up to it, or I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below what you thought of Ed Allen's game. Editing Swoop here. I did forget to mention one important guy yesterday in my key performers is Lachie Schultz. Before that head knock, he was just everywhere. He set up a couple of goals. Super brave. What did someone say? It was a consequence of his own bravery, that sort of hit, or his own attack on that ball. But I loved everything about his game. And we have a couple of good Lachie Schultz games in a row, and then he gets injured, or he gets this is an injury. So he'll be back for the Kangaroos game. Fingers crossed, it's all looking good for him. But he was absolutely incredible. Now, a couple of players that I thought could have done a little bit better. Isaac Quaynor was well held. I don't have his stats. So he had 5 disposals, 2 tackles, 4 marks. I thought I don't know if he's playing a different position or something, but it's just not the Isaac that we know and love. But maybe he's just out of position or playing a different position, kind of like Dan Houston playing a different position. And I know people are like, oh, Dan Houston's different. He's not having the games that he was having at Port Adelaide. But I think with Dan Houston in the side, and like we've talked about, it allows Josh Daicos to do what he can do. It allows Darcy Moore to sort of peel off a little bit more and cause that run. Would I love to see Dan Houston do a little bit more? Definitely. But his role is a little bit different now than it was at Port Adelaide. And finally, just Jeremy Howe, just coming back, just looked a little bit lost. Took a couple of nice marks when we needed it, but just looked a little bit lost at times and a little bit caught out. But let me know your standouts down below. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later. Who impressed me the most? Who can ba da ba da ba 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 do 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 ba da ra da da da.